Coming up on today's show, former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup has an official visit today with the Baltimore Ravens. Will he sign, and what would his role look like with the Ravens offense? We will dive in, discuss it all here on this edition of Ravens Rundown. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Today is the start of the madness, March Madness. If you guys know me, I'm a diehard Kansas Jayhawk. And I'm a little nervous about my Jayhawks, if I'm going to be frank with y'all. I love a good bracket challenge. I am of the belief that you should only have one bracket. And here's what I want to do. If you want to win your bracket challenge, you need some good luck on your side. Like today's video, don't jinx it. Don't be the reason why your bracket falls apart because you didn't like today's video. Do your part, and we'll get started with today's show. According to reports, Michael Gallup is visiting the Baltimore Ravens today as the Ravens look at the possibility of adding him to their receiving corps after the departure of Odell Beckham Jr. We know that this Ravens team is trying to find other potential options. It could be in the draft, could be a free agent like Gallup. We heard the trade rumors a few days ago about Deebo Samuel. We don't know exactly what they are going to do, but Michael Gallup is a potential option. Here's more from ESPN's Adam Schefter tweeting out last night. Cowboys free agent wide receiver Michael Gallup is scheduled to visit Thursday with the Baltimore Ravens. And then some more context from Sarah Ellison of Ravens Vault on Michael Gallup and the potential fit for Baltimore. Gallup is a different player than OBJ, but is capable of replicating similar production in Baltimore, presumably at a cheaper price. The 6'1", 198 pounds, Gallup made a name for himself in Dallas by making circus-like receptions and coming down with contested catches. If Baltimore were to sign him, it would not count against the compensatory pick formula. Could a fresh start be what's needed for Gallup to return to his former glory days? And by the way, the Ravens are in good shape of picking up a decent number of comp picks for next year's draft with how that situation's lining up. But back to Michael Gallup for a second here. You're looking at a guy that could bring in similar production to what we saw from OBJ last year, who had over 500 yards, missed a lot of games too with injury. It was kind of an up and down year for OBJ last season. Gallup could come in at a much cheaper price and put up similar numbers, and the Ravens offense might not even miss a beat potentially. So while a guy like Gallup you bring in, it's not going to be the star like you would with Deebo, but it would be a discount buy where you get decent enough production, probably better than what you'd actually have to pay. So with that in mind, I don't hate the idea at all of bringing in Michael Gallup. What do you guys think? Our pinned comment today, should the Ravens sign Michael Gallup? What do you guys think? Weigh in the comments section. You might get an ad break while that ad's playing. Get your votes in. Y for yes, N for no, if the Ravens should sign Gallup or not. So let's tell you more about Michael Gallup. He was released by the Dallas Cowboys within the last couple of weeks, and they made that a post-June 1 distinction. And you look at what he's done throughout his career. He's still not that old. 2018 third-round pick out of Colorado State, and spent about 5 seasons there with the Dallas Cowboys from 2018 to 2023. And he got off to a really good start to his career. Those first couple seasons, had a 1,000-yard year, I believe, in his second or third year, but then kind of got caught up with injuries. He had a season-ending ACL tear back in 2021, and he hasn't really been the same player since then. He's been okay, but he hasn't lived up to the potential. So if you're the Baltimore Ravens, what you would hope for when it comes to Michael Gallup is that you could get him back to the player that we saw prior to that ACL injury. And then you look at where his role would be in this Ravens offense. Think about this Ravens team. What have we been telling you over the last couple of weeks? That the Ravens defense is going to take a step back. With all that they lost in free agency, that's going to happen. And so if you're the Baltimore Ravens, the job of the offense then is to kind of replace what you lost on defense with what you can bring in on offense, because that's much easier to do than to replace all those defensive players that you're losing. And if you bring in a guy like Gallup to what's already in place with this Ravens offense, that might be what gets this team over the hump potentially to take that next step forward. You look at the potential Ravens offense here. Here's what we're looking at. You already have an upgrade at the running back position, bringing in Derrick Henry, and you'll get Keaton Mitchell back at some point next year. So the run game is going to be fantastic. And then the receiving core. You bring in Gallup, lose OBJ. Remember, Nelson Aguilar's back as well. Then you're feeling really good about your receiving core. You get Mark Andrews fully healthy after missing a decent portion of last season. And then Isaiah Likely, who had a breakout year in 2023. He should see his role increase. So all in all, that begs the question, who is stopping this Baltimore Ravens offense if you add Michael Gallup into the fold with what you already have? If you're the Baltimore Ravens, I think all of a sudden you feel really good about this group. But then it goes to the next question. Back to Kansas City for a second. A team that we've talked about here of comparing yourselves. Can this team, is that enough to hang with the two-time defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs? Because that is the only thing standing in the Ravens' way right now of getting to the Super Bowl is Kansas City. This Ravens team, on paper, is definitely better than Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati within your division. They're better than the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the Houston Texans. It is the Kansas City Chiefs. That is the only team that matters in the AFC of who the Baltimore Ravens are chasing. If you want to get to the top, you got to take the king down from the top. Here's the Chiefs' offense of the changes that they have made here in this offseason. As Rashee Rice is coming off a 1,000-yard season, Marquise Brown, our old friend, he makes his way to Kansas City, and he's expected to have a significant role in that Chiefs offense. Travis Kelce, of course, still there, the future Hall of Famer. They brought in Irv Smith from the Minnesota Vikings. He's expected to be that number 2 tight end target. I look at that Chiefs offense. It's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. But I really like that how the Ravens offense stacks up toe-to-toe. If you're going to bring in Michael Gallup, I'll take the Ravens offense over the Chiefs offense if that is what we end up seeing. What do you guys think? Who's going to have the better offense in 2024? Is it going to be the Baltimore Ravens or is it going to be the Kansas City Chiefs? Type R for Ravens, C for Chiefs. Let us know what you think. As I said a while back, all eyes on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Ravens and Chiefs play this upcoming season. When the Ravens break the huddle in practice, they need to be saying beat KC. That needs to be the mindset, is go after the Kansas City Chiefs. Is this enough? Is this better than KC? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Nobody is covering the Baltimore Ravens offseason like we are here on Ravens Rundown as we bring you the latest happenings on your favorite team, from free agency to trades to the draft and more. We got to cover it all here on Ravens Rundown, bringing you daily coverage like no one else is here on the internet. Subscribe now for free and stay up to date with what's going on in your Baltimore Ravens all offseason long. Getting close to 16,000 subscribers. Need your help to get there. Join the family. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Now, whether it is Gallup or somebody else, I think that the Ravens are in a position where they can kind of hold serve as is at the moment and then go get that other receiver. I expect that this is not going to be what you see currently, the receiving core for the Baltimore Ravens when the season begins. Don't know if it's Gallup. Maybe it's a draft prospect. We've seen a couple names from where they pick at 30, the likes of Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, one of those guys, or if it's a big trade for Deebo Samuel. There is one more receiver on the way. We just don't know who yet. Might even be Michael Gallup by the end of the day, potentially. Bleacher Report had this to say about Michael Gallup and his potential fit with the Baltimore Ravens. He could grasp a bigger role in the Ravens offense compared to what he had in Dallas. Zay Flowers led the team in receiving yards with 858, while Beckham was next with 565. Gallup is just 28 years old and would add a younger presence to the position group. He also may come at a reasonable price given his lesser production in recent seasons after the emergence of CeeDee Lamb. So there you have it. If Michael Gallup ends up with the Baltimore Ravens, you know we're going to talk about and bring you a video here on the channel, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed today's show, you need some luck on your side for your bracket, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. We'll see you next time here on Ravens Rundown.